Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're unpacking a brilliant, hilarious, and honestly profoundly moving story from Trevor Noah's childhood memoir. We're looking at a chapter simply called Fufi. And let me tell you, this is way more than just a boy and his dog story. It's an absolute masterclass on love, attachment, and what happens when all of that just completely falls apart.
So think about this for a second. Have you ever been deeply betrayed by your best friend? I mean, we've all felt that sting of a broken relationship at some point, right? Well, you might be surprised to hear that the answer to navigating profound heartbreak might actually come from a childhood memory about a very peculiar, rule-breaking dog.
Section 1, Pets in the Neighborhood. To really get this story, we've got to set the scene and look at the pet culture where Trevor grew up. There was this stark contrast in South African pet ownership back then. As Trevor explains, for white families, dogs were basically kids. They were family members. But for black families, dogs were utility. No matter how poor you were, you had a dog as a poor man's alarm system, kept strictly in the yard for protection. And the naming conventions were brilliantly literal. You know, if a dog had stripes, you named it Tiger. If it was vicious, Danger. Spots, Spotty. Now, before Trevor's family got dogs, they lived in a mixed-race neighborhood called Eden Park, and his mom actually brought home 2 beautiful black cats. But here's the thing. In a black neighborhood, owning a black cat was basically like wearing a giant neon sign that said, "Hello, I am a witch." And tragically, they came home one evening to find both cats killed with the Afrikaans word for witch, hex, scrawled right on their wall. It was just a heartbreaking start to their experience with pets. Section 2, Panther and Fufi. So after that devastating loss, the family took a break from pets. But eventually, a lady at Trevor's mom's work offered them 2 puppies, and Trevor became literally the happiest kid on planet Earth. Now, the contrast between these 2 puppy sisters was hilarious. His mom named one Panther, mostly because she had a pink nose and was initially called Pink Panther. Panther was kind of weird, super scruffy looking, but incredibly smart. She was definitely the mom's dog. Then there was Trevor's dog, Fufi. Fufi was this gorgeous, perfect-looking bull terrier with a big happy face. But, well, Fufi seemed incredibly dumb. Whenever they called the dogs, Panther would come sprinting right over. Fufi wouldn't even flinch. Panther would literally have to run back, physically get Fufi, and then they'd trot over together. So for years, Trevor just completely accepted that the love of his life, Fufi, was beautiful but just totally brainless. It actually wasn't until much later that they discovered the shocking truth. Tragically, a burglar tried to break into their house, pushed over this heavy gate, and it fell on Fufi, breaking her spine. They rushed her to the vet, and sadly, she had to be put down to end her suffering. But after the exam, the vet comes out and casually says, "You know, it must have been strange for your family living with a dog that was deaf." Trevor and his mom were just stunned. They were like, "What? No. We thought she was just stupid." The realization was absolutely staggering. This whole time, Fufi wasn't ignoring them because she was dumb. She literally could not hear a thing. Her sister Panther, the smart, hearing dog, had been acting as her guide her entire life, just telling her deaf sister what to do. It completely reframed Fufi's whole existence for Trevor. Section 3, the deaf escape artist. Let's jump back a bit to when Fufi was alive, because honestly, being deaf did not slow this dog down one bit. She was an incredible athlete and quite the little rascal. So during the day, the dogs were safely locked in the backyard behind a solid 5-foot wall. Yet every single afternoon, when the family got back from work and school, there was Fufi, just casually hanging out outside the front gate, waiting for them. It drove them absolutely crazy. They kept asking, who on earth is opening the gate? What is going on here? Well, the answer was that Fufi was a master acrobat. I mean, she could jump impossibly high. Trevor used to hold food way up in the air and she'd just snatch it like it was nothing. He even joked that if social media was a thing back then, she'd be a viral star for sure. It turns out, every morning, Fufi would patiently wait for the family to leave, and then she would literally scale that 5-foot wall, just jumping and scampering right over the last couple of feet to go roam around the neighborhood. Section 4, Fufi's secret second life. And this brings us to the ultimate dramatic plot twist of Trevor's childhood, the discovery of Fufi's double life. One day, during school holidays, Trevor was home alone. The family car was gone, so Fufi had no idea he was there. Trevor looks out the window and catches Fufi red-handed scaling the wall. He grabs his bike, secretly follows her several streets over to a totally different part of the neighborhood.
and watches in sheer disbelief as Fufi jumps into someone else's yard. Trevor marches right up, rings the doorbell, and confronts the kid who answers. Meanwhile, Fufi just casually walks up and stands right between them. Trevor goes, "Fufi, come," but the other kid looks at the dog and goes, "Spotty, go back inside." What followed was this hilariously frustrating shouting match. "Fufi! Spotty! Fufi!" And the most brilliant part of all this, because Fufi was stone deaf, she didn't react to either name. She just stood there in total silence while these two boys fought over her. Things escalated pretty quickly. The other boy's mom came out, claimed they'd bought the dog, and told Trevor to get lost. Trevor was absolutely crushed. He starts crying, literally begging the dog, "Fufi, why are you doing this to me?" But Fufi was deaf to his pleas, literally and figuratively. He hops on his bike and races home with tears just streaming down his face. I mean, think about it. The dog he potty trained, the dog that slept in his bed, was seemingly pretending not to know him just to be with another boy. It was pure heartbreak. Section 5. Buying Fufi back. When Trevor's mom finally got home, he told her Fufi had been kidnapped. And because the other family thought Trevor was trying to steal the dog, they'd actually locked Fufi inside. So Trevor's mom marched right over there to handle business. Trevor's mom was sheer determination in action. She basically ran a masterclass in hostage negotiation. Step 1, confront the lying neighbor face to face. When the woman refused to budge, claiming they bought the dog, Trevor's mom did not back down. She drove all the way home for step 2, gathering ironclad evidence like vet certificates and family photos. Then, step 3, bringing the ultimate living proof. They brought Panther. Now, despite all this undeniable evidence, the other mother still refused to hand Fufi over. So finally, Trevor's mom just threw money at the problem. She offered a 100 Rand bribe. The lady instantly accepted, took the cash, and brought Fufi out. The irony here is so thick, right? The other kid had to watch his mother sell the dog he thought was his, and now he was the one crying, shouting, "Mom, don't sell Spotty!" But the second Fufi saw Panther, she came running. They finally had their dog back. Section 6, the lesson of Fufi. So they won, right? Got the dog back. But that walk home was anything but victorious for young Trevor. Trevor just sobbed the entire way home. His mom, having exactly zero patience for this, asks him why he's still crying. Trevor wails, "Because Fufi loves another boy." And his mom delivers this incredibly harsh but necessary reality check. She says, "Why would that hurt you? It didn't cost you anything. She's here, she still loves you, so get over it." And wow, Trevor had to process this massive realization. Fufi wasn't cheating on him, she wasn't trying to hurt him, she was deaf, she was athletic, and she was just out there living her absolute best life. Until Trevor knew she was sneaking out, her other relationship hadn't affected him at all. There was absolutely no malicious intent. It all boils down to this absolutely crucial point. You do not own the thing you love. Trevor Noah actually says no one has ever betrayed him more than Fufi, but it was the most valuable lesson he could have ever learned. It fundamentally shaped how he viewed relationships for the rest of his life. Loving someone doesn't mean you possess them. Their capacity to have a full life or even care for other people does not diminish their love for you. And what I absolutely love about summarizing this chapter for our explainer today is how insanely applicable it is to all of us. Trevor notes that he still has adult friends who come to him, angry, crying, wrestling with betrayal, or being lied to. He totally understands their pain. And what does he do? He buys them a drink, sits them down, and says, "Friend, let me tell you the story of Fufi." Which leaves us with this final lingering question. How does Fufi's lesson change how you view ownership in your own relationships? The next time you feel that sharp sting of betrayal or the heavy grip of jealousy, ask yourself, are you trying to own the thing you love? It's a profound shift in perspective, and it's all thanks to a beautiful, deaf, wall-jumping dog. Thank you so much for exploring this incredible chapter with me today. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.